Really?
Your seventh pick gives you what? A running back with a rap sheet?
You don't know who I'm picking, Seven, Tom. I'm not going to sell the farm for one guy.
Well, you should. Your farm sucks.
I know football. What you did with those boys. You were the right man for the job, coach.
You're Hall of Fame in my book.
Now, let's analyze what's been working for us. Not a goddamn thing's been working for us. Like this goddamn suit doesn't work for me. And this stinking tie. And this goddamn shirt. It doesn't work for me.
Fucking Roethlisberger, the quarterback, was all fucking hug it, chug it, football. All night.
I'll tell you why you don't have your $10 million yet. Right now, you are a paycheck player. You play with your head, not your heart. In your personal life, heart. But when you get on the field, it's all about what you didn't get, who's to blame, who underthrew the pass, who's got the contract you don't, who's not giving you your love. And you know what? That is not what inspires people.
This is your opportunity
For
here.
you. Playing football at West Canaan may have been the opportunity of your lifetime. But I don't want your life.
I'll tell you this, in any fight, it's the guy who's willing to die who's gonna win that itch. And I know if I'm gonna have any life anymore, it's because I'm still willing to fight and die for that itch. Because that's what living is. The 6 inches in front of your face.
I have the golden ticket, Sonny. If I give it to you, you get to say football in Cleveland.
I'll see you in L.A.
No heart.
No heart? I'm all heart, motherfucker!
You talk the podcast, 2L2Zs. We're live here. I'm live, right? Someone else live? 2L2Zs?
Utah, give me 2.
I hate when I can't hear my headphones. Welcome in, everybody. It's a fun show. No, I don't need those. Bye. That's my lovely lady. Welcome in. What do we got here? We need to replace the I Don't Want Your Life with a progressive commercial parody. I've missed that one. I miss commercials, I guess, sometimes when I don't watch enough TV. But who gives a shit? Let's party. Let's do this. Let's boogie. We got week 5. Look, it's real simple. Take advantage of the live chat. Use it right now. Unlike other gigantic shows where it could be difficult, dear, to get your questions in. This is not that place. This is the place where you get direct access and we give it to you all uncensored and in your face. Now, if that's too annoying for you, we can take it down a notch. We can say, if you can spare a few minutes, we'd love to have you pop in and, share your questions with us. No big deal. And light and easy. It's a Sunday morning. We can do this any way you want to do it. That's how I roll. I can go in a lot of different directions. I can be intense. Oh, yeah. Like the Kool-Aid man. Or we just keep it simple. Today's slate of NFL games is not fun. It doesn't look that fun. There's a couple maybe that look a little fun. I'll say that. But right now, the London game, for those of you that are watching that bozo fest, hey, B. Henny, what's up? Big Dog MG. Keep up the good work. B. Henny, my man. How you been? What's going on, B. Henny? What's new? What have I missed lately? Anything exciting?
Wow, dude.
Fill me in. Look, this London game, Garrett Wilson's already putting up some points. So if you have Garrett Wilson, congratulations, you're feeling good. If you have Drake London from Thursday night and Kirk Cousins, 509 passing yards. What a night that was. Holy Testicle Tuesday. Woo! That was Ric Flair worthy. Yeah, right?
He says, woo, around here, except me.
Thanks, Rick. We appreciate that. Now, I apologize for you. There's no Mike Virginia today. Mike is unavailable. He's out taking care of family and being a good person. Mike, we miss you. Make sure you follow Mike on Twitter, X, @_MikeVA. He's the man. He will help you. He cares. He's just a great dude. So thanks for being here in spirit, Mike. I miss you now more than ever. I'm getting choked up.
Damn!
Okay, so... But Thursday night was wild, right? Baker Mayfield had 3 touchdowns. Even though he couldn't crack 200 yards passing, at 3 passing touchdowns. Mike Evans is immortal. That's fun. And finally, someone kicks it off. Here we go. Jelly of the Month Club. Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving all year long. That's what I think of when I see that. There's no way in hell that Jelly of the Month Club is not a reference to Christmas Vacation, right? Am I wrong? I'm not wrong. There's just no way. Okay, so he wants to know, Sermon or Hunt? Trey Sermon or Kareem Hunt?
Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
It's beautiful. I think it's pretty easy. This is Hunt for me. Because I like Tyler Goodson. That's right, Tyler Goodson. Oh, there. Bingo. Nailed it. Hey, Jelly of the Month Club, clearly you belong here. And make sure you subscribe and like the video. Because we're doing this on Tuesday nights and Sunday mornings. I mean, he really just might like, yeah. Don't use jelly. Don't use cheese. Listen, I really like Tyler Goodson. This is a guy that was used in the offense last year when he was needed. And now suddenly everyone's going right to Trey Sermon. But hold the phone. I think some of you will make a mistake here, especially in PPR. I really like Tyler Goodson. He's a guy who catches the ball out of the backfield. And nobody seems to want to add him. He's available everywhere. Everyone went heavy on Trey Sermon, because it was the more well-known name, the bust from San Francisco, if you will, who's hung around the league. I'm just not that impressed. And again, last year, Gardner Minshew and company, when Shane Steichen had a different offensive setup, now he's got Joe Flacco, because there's no Anthony Richardson today. He will not play. And maybe that'll be a good thing for the Colts passing game. Sucks to say it, man. I got to go back to the preseason when Oops and me were going head-to-head on Anthony Richardson, and I was just constantly slurping on Anthony Richardson dong. Yummy. I love Anthony Richardson, but Oops is like, dude, the guy is a pick machine. He threw a pick 6 in the preseason. Remember that, Oops? And you, right now, you look like you're winning the Anthony Richardson debate. I'm losing that. But Joe Flacco makes the passing game a little better, probably, right? We saw Josh Downs get loose last week. Now, down in Jacksonville, let me tell you something. The Jags, they own the Colts down in Jacksonville. Do you remember the final game of the Urban Meyer nightmare season a couple years ago when the Jags destroyed the Colts? The Colts, all they had to do was win and be in the playoffs. The Jags were like, they were 1-15 or whatever, 1-14. They were awful. But they beat the Colts' ass that day, knocked the Colts out of the playoffs. They just own them down there. So I really love the Jags today. Finally get their first win of the season. They're 0-4. And even Joe Flacco cannot prevent that from happening today. But that doesn't mean that Tyler Goodson's not useful here. So if you're asking me in PPR, I guess I prefer Kareem Hunt. Even though he was limited this week, he's cleared. He's good to go. He's going to play Monday night against the Saints. So I'm going Hunt over Sermon just because I'm partial to Goodson. I'm partial to Goodson. Hey, what's up, JP, my main man? Is there a more dedicated patron to the Pallazzo Podcast Patreon?
Utah, give me 2.
Than JP, my man. JP, I'll be seeing you in a couple weeks live, First Pitch Arizona. He's the man who'll be spinning the 1s and 2s when the Pallazzo Podcast does a live show on location in Mesa, Arizona. If you live in the Phoenix greater area of Arizona, you want to come see us live, be a part of First Pitch Arizona, you can still get a ticket or buy a conference pass, whatever the hell you want to call it. We'd love to see you there. We're doing a show Friday, November 1st. Get your ass to Mars. Get your ass to Mesa. Zay Flowers of Justice Hill in my flex, half-point PPR, says JP, my main man. Well, JP, I got to go Zay Flowers. I don't think, this is not a debate, in my opinion. Now, you want to get radical and you feel you have some type of feeling about Justice Hill today? Well, that's your call. You get to live with it, man. But if it's straight up like this, it's a no-brainer to me. You start Zay Flowers. And I like Cincinnati in that matchup today. I'm telling you, Cincinnati's a home underdog to the Ravens, who destroyed the Buffalo Bills last Sunday night. So everyone's like, dude, the Ravens are gods. But this is the NFL. It changes every week. Remember what I said last week? After the Jaguars got murdered by the Bills, 47-10, the Jags came back and they played Houston real tough in Houston, right? This is what happens. So I'm expecting the Bengals to play well against the Ravens today. And I do like the over in that game. I think we're expecting a lot of offense from both sides. And Zay Flowers should get loose. He's due. Because Zay Flowers has been mildly disappointing as of late. He hasn't been a key part of the offense because the run game in Baltimore has been run, till the daddy takes a T-bird away. Last 2 weeks, 6 total targets for Zay Flowers, 4 catches total. Trash. Man, it's just such trash. God damn. That's Zay Flowers right right now. But there is hope. First 2 weeks, he had double-digit targets. So I'm expecting against Cincinnati for Zay Flowers to get back in sync with Lamar Jackson. Yes, I know the run game has taken off for Baltimore, and Derrick Henry can outrun defensive backs even at 30 years old because he's a god. He's a Greek god, is he not? Hey, Tim, my man, what's up, Gove? I don't do football. Just popped in to say, go Tigers. Woo! All right.
Go Tigers.
That's right. Got destroyed by Cleveland yesterday, but their bullpen's so good. Cade Smith is such a good reliever. God damn, he is good. Shite. Tough to stop, Tim. Tim, thanks for saying hi, man. You know I love seeing you, Tim. Tim's been around here for 4 years. He's been around forever. I love when he pops in. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate you, bud. When you say I don't do football, it makes me think of Ace Ventura. I don't do humans. This is Tim. I don't do football. Hey, Derek Just. He's just Derek. That's all he is. What's up, my man? Make sure you subscribe, like. We're here on Sunday mornings doing your start sits just like this one we're going to do now. And, of course, Sunday goes into Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Me and Virginia here will be talking about the waiver wire for week 6. So whatever week comes next, we're ready to move forward, talk about what happened, and then talk about what's going to happen next. Full PPR, flex. One of these gentlemen must be played. Jerome Ford, Josh Downs, Brandon Ayuk. Now, Downs out. No Downs. Nope. I do love me some Jerome Ford today. I love me some Brandon Ayuk today. Both of these guys are due to do something, and Ford's due to score a touchdown. Hasn't scored since week 1. And I would love to see Jerome Ford against this Washington football team, whatever the hell they're called now. I call them the Washington football team. It doesn't matter what they call themselves now. I'm going to call them that. And I know you guys, you feel me. I feel ya. Oh, Tiffany says, laces out. You're right. I can't believe I don't have the laces out drop, especially for football season. What the hell's going on here? Jeez, if you play to win the games, I mean, what am I doing here?
You play to win the game.
Supposedly do. So for me, it's Ayuk or Ford. And Ford might be the safer play because Washington's defense is bad. But, you know, actually, Arizona's defense is god-awful. So Brandon Ayuk is due. I say flip a coin between Ayuk and Ford. Full PPR doesn't matter to me because Ford is such a good receiving back. Ford can catch balls out of the backfield. You know, Nick Chubb is coming back into the fold here, but this is still Jerome Ford's backfield for this week. So I'm starting Ford everywhere, but I don't have a lot of Ayuk to make this choice with. But I really feel like Ayuk or Ford, you can't go wrong. I really don't see much of a difference here this week only. This week only, okay? So thanks, Derek. Just Derek for doing your thing, my man. All right. Oh, Uncle Ted's in the house. Michael Pittman owns the Jaguars. Sure, yeah. You got to start Pittman against the Jags. Jags are still going to win, though, Uncle Ted. Uncle Ted says it's Ayuk all day in that decision. He's a $100 million receiver. Well, I ain't got shit to do with it. For me, I don't give a shit how much money he makes because Juwan Jennings is outperforming him right now, and he makes way less than Brandon Ayuk does in San Francisco. Does he not?
I apologize.
Yeah, maybe Brandon Ayuk should apologize to San Francisco and all the money he whoop. But I really like Ford and Ayuk today. I do. I love Ford against that Washington team. I'm telling you, Cleveland's going to win that game. Washington destroys Arizona on the road last week. This is the laws of the NFL. And NFL betting says the following. After a team dominates another team on the road like the Washington football team did against Arizona last week, they come home. They're favorites now? Nope. You got to take Cleveland those points. It sucks. Nobody wants to bet on Deshaun Watson. It's hell on earth. I don't want to do it. You don't want to do it, but here we are. It's got to happen, and it will happen, and I'm doing it because I've bet on them at least twice today, unfortunately. I got to live with that now for the rest of my life. Oh, it hurts. Ayuk missed camp. He's playing into shape. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Again, I like Ayuk and Ford, so I love it. It doesn't matter if it's PPR because, again, I love Ford as a receiving back. Ford is a guy drafted everywhere in PPR leagues because of his ability. You know, last week he caught 7 balls for like 30 yards. I know you purists out there, you hate that shit. But 7 catches from a back for 30 yards, those points add up. 7 points just for doing nothing. Catching a ball's not easy in the NFL. Remember that. Chad says Watson did get back one of his elite offensive linemen today. And we've got David Njoku back on the scene. Welcome back. God, he is so ripped. Can you imagine being David Njoku, being as ripped as he is and such a badass with that hair and the immaculate body that Njoku has. Oh, God, he is a sexy MFer. Woo! He's a hot dude. There's no doubt about it. So he's back in the fold for the Cleveland offense. That's great news. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to get, a full run from Njoku today. He'll be limited, but he could score a touchdown today against that shitty Washington defense. I don't care what Washington did last week. That defense still is not great at all. Dan Quinn knows defense, and he makes the defense better. Washington gets as much out of their defense that they can because of Dan Quinn. I do believe that. But you got to feel good about Njoku opening up for Cooper, which opens it up for Ford underneath. It's just a nice setup for the Cleveland offense today. And I don't want to talk about it anymore. I really, really don't, because I hate Deshaun Watson so much. I mean, he's a piece of shit. But, there it is. Don't go P. Diddler on us talking about his hair. Look, it's one thing if I admire Njoku's gorgeous hair and body. The man is an Adonis. But it's a big difference when you drug someone, and then against their will. I think it's a big leap between appreciating a beautiful man's body and then being P. Diddy. Right? I think we all agree on that one. I'll safely lock myself in there. So you're saying it's a Judy day. Judy. Yeah. I don't have any Jerry Judy shares anywhere. Not interested. But it could finally be that time, right? Oh, boy. So get your questions in here. I'm sitting here. I am here for you right now. I am not doing my work right now with about an hour and 13 minutes until 1 o'clock kickoff here. What's the update over on the good old Bozo showdown between the Vikings and the Jaguars? What do we got going on here? Oh, still 17-7, huh? A boring affair in London. I don't watch London games. And I'm proud of it. You're right. I don't care. I care about the bottom line. What were the results, right? Who scored, who didn't? But, I don't want to sit there and watch a London game. That sounds like hell on earth to me. Aaron Rodgers, 126 passing yards, touchdown, 2 picks. Breece Hall sucks, 8 carries, 17 yards. Jeez, Breece Hall's, what a bust. Mega bust. Oh, Garrett Wilson, 7 catches, 51 yards. And Alan Lazard scored a touchdown. I called that. I picked him up this morning in one of my sleeper leagues and threw him right in the lineup. That's so funny, man. Lazard is his guy. Here we go. Bryce checking in. Thanks, Bryce, my main man. Make sure you subscribe, please. We almost cracked an 870, guys. This is great. We're getting close to 900. I want to get to 1,000 by the end of the football season. Before the end of the football season, I know we can do this. We're at 868, and we're on our way up. Woohoo! Yippee! They said it couldn't be done. But we're showing them. Hubbard or B-Rob? Chicago Bears defense, right? Pretty good D. Love the Bears D. Against the run, though, maybe you've heard this. The Bears can be had. The Bears are actually bottom 7 in the NFL so far in fantasy points allowed to running backs. They've given up 5 rushing touchdowns and 409 rushing yards on 88 carries, and another 100 yards receiving on 18 grabs, 22 targets to running backs. So Chubba Hubba should have himself a decent day here, right? I mean, this is the access point. This is the way. Give Chubba 30 carries. Let him grind his ass out on this Chicago D, right? Who could be sitting on ass a lot. The offense will be if you allow the run game to chew up the Chicago defense. That's a good way to go if you're the Carolina head coach, Dave Canales and company, with Andy Dalton, handing the ball off. Hand the ball off 25, 30 times to Chubba, man, for real, and make that Chicago offense sit on ass and do nothing.
Good at what? Sitting on ass?
Yeah, well, they might be good at it. Well, we don't know for sure, but they might be. So I'm going Chuba there because, we've got the word here. We always try to start the show right around when the inactives come out. And Mr. Brian Robinson is active against the Browns. Brian Robinson has 200-yard games already this year. He scored 3 rushing touchdowns in 4 games. Ryan Robinson Jr. has been great. He's been real impressive after 4 weeks. But today against Cleveland's a different story, man. It just is. So with the fact that he's coming in, even though he's playing, he's had the injury that he was concerned about, and Cleveland's defense is tough. It is. I know there's been a lot of ups and downs, and shit's gone sideways in Cleveland, our arch rival as Detroiters. That's what they tell us. Cleveland, Detroit, even though it's just the same damn city. Well, I mean, what's the difference between Cleveland and Detroit? Nothing? Maybe literal geographical location, but it's only like 2 hours apart. Anywho, I'm going to go Hubbard there. And I feel pretty good about Chuba. Yes, Jonathan Brooks, he should be returning eventually here, but this is still Chuba's backfield in Carolina. I say start Chuba full bore, Bryce. Feel good about it. Let yourself fly. Fly like a panther. That makes no sense. Panthers don't fly. Eagles fly, right?
Call 911!
Yeah, call 911. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about here. Michael T, what's up, Michael T? That's like Booker T. Reminds me of Booker T. Booker T, Michael T. Should I start Connor or Downs, PPR? A lot of Downs talk today. Wow. You guys got Downs on the brain, don't you? You got to start Connor. I know it's PPR, but I love Connor. Where's Chad? Chad last week he had that talk. He had the strategy, the Connor strategy last week. The strategy was right. It didn't quite work out. Connor ended up having 100 yards and a touchdown, even though Washington destroyed Arizona. But he was on the right track with that. Weren't you, Chad? Chad? Come on, I'm waiting for Chad to chime in on this. This is your moment, Chad. I'm giving you the platform. Lose yourself in the music. Lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go.
I've made a huge mistake.
I did. So Connor, man. Connor. Downs has Flacco, which is nice, right? But in that pecking order there, Indianapolis, you've got Adonai Mitchell's coming out a bit too, the rookie out of Texas. I really like Mitchell, and I know Indianapolis likes him too. I know that Downs will still get more snaps than Mitchell in the Indianapolis wide receiver situation today. But you got Alec Pierce, you got Pittman, and then you got Tyler Goodson coming out of the backfield catching balls. Plus, Indianapolis plays a lot of their tight ends. Have you looked at the snap share on Indianapolis tight ends? It's really fascinating. They are not shy about playing at least 3 of them at 30% snaps or more. For real. Check this out. Over here to the football guys. Shout out to the football guys. These guys do great work. I want to make sure they get credit for it. Go to footballguys.com and check out their snap counts. It's awesome. Look at this. It's great. Right there for you. So look at week 4. Last week, Granson, Allie Cox, and Drew Ogletree each had at least 30% of the snaps. I mean, they play 3 tight ends, and they'll play 4 with Will Mallory in the mix now. Last week, he got 17%. So I tell you what, you think about from a betting perspective, this is more from betting. Also, we got buys. This is our first week we got 4 buys, right? One of my teams, I have a lot of Detroit Lions. So I had to replace on one team, Goff, Amon Ra, Gibbs, and Bates, my kicker, and Jameson Williams. So that's 5 Lions on one team. That was genius. I don't know how genius that was, but anyways, playing one of these tight ends, if you're looking to get like a rat touchdown from Allie Cox or Ogletree, or of course Granson from Indianapolis, if you're looking for a bye week tight end replacement still, it's not a bad idea, because one of those guys will probably score a touchdown from Flacco today. Last week it was Ogletree. Who knows what it'll be this week? Allie Cox, maybe. Bottom line here is I'm Connor, and I feel good about it. I really like Connor over Downs, just because I know Connor gets the volume, and I like them a lot. I like Arizona a lot today against San Francisco. Look, last week's Arizona gets destroyed. The week before that, they lose a tough one to the Lions at home. Now, San Francisco, 7.5-point favorites at home. It's going to be hotter than hell, too. In fact, Shanahan's been bitching about it all week because it's 95 degrees, and there's like a heat warning in San Francisco, which isn't common for this time of year. And they asked the NFL. Shanahan's like, hey, guys, can we switch to the white unis? But the NFL's like, denied. That is not allowed.
We're going to get all in your face and point out your faults.
Yeah, it was basically like,
whatever, motherfucker.
That was the NFL to Kyle Shanahan when he asked if he could change to the white unis because it was so damn hot. But all uniform changes must be done before the season even starts. The NFL. That's how tight ass they are about their unis. Boo. Chad says, I said it when it happened. I knew how the game would play out. I just didn't factor in Connor. Ignoring logic. Yeah, that's a good point, Chad. You're right. Hey, Joe, what's up, my man? Joe's been a regular viewer on the football side of things. He's been around a long time. Joe, how are you? Are you okay? Are you going to have a good day today? He says, hey, it's rainy in the Indy game. The Chad, what movie was that? Hey, is it Rainy V? I don't understand what you're something about. Is this a movie reference? That's a movie reference? I know movie references. But that one escapes me. All right, so what else you got here? I'm still here for you, here to serve the people, here to serve the masses. In the meantime, I think this is radical, okay? I think maybe benching Jaden Daniels today against Cleveland is not crazy. If you have another option, like, would you rather start Joe Flacco over Jaden Daniels today? Maybe that's too crazy, overthinking things. But I just think Washington's in for a reality check against that defense today. Another one I got here, I've got Kenneth Walker, Jerome Ford, and James Cook. I love all three of these guys. How am I to decide, right? Oh, here we go. Joe, what's up, buddy? Joe Lowry of the Hill People.
Don't be that guy.
Love that. Lothar of the Hill People. Bench Daniels, I like you, man, but you're crazy. All right, well, go ahead. Remember I said this, okay? Just remember I said it. I love Daniels. I have Daniels all over the place. I drafted him heavily. I know he's QB1, Chad, but he's not QB1 this week. He's not. He's not against Cleveland. The built-in floor means they can lose 85-0 and he will still get there. Okay, we'll see about that. We will see. I'm a huge Jaden Daniels fan, but today I am not. I'm just not. It happens once in a blue moon. And if I have other options I like, better defensive matchups that I trust, I'm going for it. Go for it. Connect 4. Homer? Who's the Homer here, Joe? I'm lost. But, yeah, help me out here, guys. Help me understand. What do I do here? If you got James Cook, Jerome Ford, and Kenneth Walker like I do in this team. There's Jaden Daniels. See, he's still in my... this is a super flex. So I've got Flacco and Daniels. I don't really have another quarterback I can start, so I'm playing him no matter what. So I'm not excited about it. But I'm more concerned about this right here. Kenneth Walker, Jerome Ford, James Cook on my bench this week against Houston, and Ramondre. Of course. So what are you guys doing with Ramondre, by the way? Anybody freaking out because he's been benched for Antonio Gibson? Now, just because he's being benched doesn't mean he won't play still. I think there could be a nice switcheroo brewing here where Ramondre still gets carries and still can make a difference. And the fact that the only way to beat the Miami Dolphins is the running game for New England, Miami's run D's been bad. They've been good against the pass. Miami's pass D's been solid. Look at the numbers. But against running backs, Miami's been tore up. They've given up 7 rushing touchdowns already this season to running backs.
Get trusted.
That's right. Miami defense, 7 rushing touchdowns to running backs through 4 weeks. That's not great. Oh, Joe was saying it is raining in the Indy game. Okay, thank you. That's what your point was. I thought it might be, Joe. I thought it might be. Ramondre needs to have a good game from the bench before I'm willing to use him unless I'm desperate. Well, you must have a hell of a team, Joe. Who else do you got? What other running backs do you got? You must have gone running back heavy. And I agree with Chad. I'm benching Ford. All right. You guys. Oh, Chad says, bench Ford for Cook. This is a prime spot for Cook. I don't want to bench Cook. I love Ford so much. Especially this is PPR. This is 1-point PPR. And Cook is great for PPR too. I understand that. But then I got Brian Thomas. So I could switch out Brian Thomas for James Cook too. So maybe I should, but I like Brian Thomas a lot today against that Colts defense. That Colts defense stinks. It stinks.
You have failed.
That'll be the post game. If Jim Mora still existed, that's what he would say to his Colts team after the game.
We couldn't do diddly poo offensively. We couldn't make a first down. We couldn't run the ball. We didn't try to run the ball. We couldn't complete a pass.
Wow.
We sucked.
I mean, if you can't do any of that stuff, you probably would suck, right? Wait, is Thomas' spot a flex as well? That's correct. It is. I'm getting radical. Am I out of control? Who are the other wide receivers? Let's go back live. I am 3-1 in this league, by the way. 4th place. Got a nice season brewing here. This is the league I'm in with Vlad Sedler. This is his home league I was invited to last year, and I'm proud to be in it. Shout out to Vlad. If you don't know RotoGut, follow him on Twitter, the RotoGut, Vlad Sedler, the master. So, of course, I got Diggs, Metcalf, and Pickens in the starting wide receivers positions with Thomas in the flex here. Zoom this in a little bit more. The other, after that, I mean, it's Wandale. All my best receivers are in. Jameson Williams on a bye, so there you go. Yeah, did you hear that? I got 5 Lions. Let me show you. Yeah, let me show you the 5 Lions team. This is actually, the 5 Lions team is in the pentathlon. This thing's awesome. It's called the pentathlon. So look at this. Look at my bench this week. I'm trying to get by with all this is the different team. This is the other team, the Lions heavy team where I had to fill all these bye spots. The funny thing, though, is this is not a head-to-head league, so it's not like I had to worry about, well, I'm going to take a loss this week. This is cumulative points, like Roto NFL Fantasy, which most people don't want to play, right? So, and I even had to drop Bates for Sanders because I had 2 defenses. I can't drop Chicago or Pittsburgh's D. I love both. So, so that means I'm starting Jacoby Brissett today in this super flex because it's a desperate time. But this is not the league. By the way, I'm starting Wandale, I'm starting Tutu Atwell, I'm starting Roshan. Again, a lot of buys I got to fill. But let me go back to the league we were just talking about with the decision Ford, Thomas, James Cook. So he's saying put James Cook in? Bench Thomas? Is that what you guys think I should do now? Chad says Pickens is awesome, but this should be a career day for Najee Harris instead. Career day. How many times have people waited for a career day from Najee Harris? For real. Chad says, so hear me out. Bench Pickens, move Thomas to wide receiver, and start Cook at flex. It's not a bad idea. I like where your head's at. I don't disagree, especially because he's saying Micah Parsons is out, Lawrence is out. No, it makes sense. You're right. No, it does. Your logic is sound, your rationale, your process. Remember when the process blew up with Sam Hinkie and everybody started using the process all the time? Shit, that was like 10 years ago. Man.
Clark, that's the gift that keeps on giving the whole year.
I don't know if it's a gift, but it was something. Anyways, I like Pickens and Fields. They had a nice matchup last week with Indy where things were decent. I still think there's better days ahead against this Dallas D tonight. Pickens had double-digit targets last week against Indy, 7 catches, 113 yards. He's yet to score. Pickens is due to score, and tonight is the night George Pickens scores on Sunday Night Football against the Dallas Cowboys. Book it. Locking it in. I am. But I don't disagree with what you're saying, Chad. Makes sense. Yeah, I don't think I can bench Brian Thomas with the Colts having like 30 guys out on D. I hear that, brother. Right? I love that matchup today. I mean, everybody does. So, I don't know what I'm going to do. I got an hour to think about it between Brian Thomas, James Cook, George Pickens. Kenneth Walker must start against the Giants. That's a no-brainer, obviously. And I think Jerome Ford is must-start territory today. I really do. So I think James Cook, he got off to a tremendous start, had that monster game week 2 against Miami with the 3 touchdowns. And since then, he's been so-so. I mean, Cook, it's not like Cook's been lighting it up the last 2 weeks. He hasn't. James Cook has had 11 carries for 39 yards. He did have a rushing touchdown against Jacksonville. That was a blowout game, too, so he didn't have to do much. Last week against Baltimore, he didn't do shit. And now he's got to take on Houston, who's pretty good against the run. Houston can be burned in the passing game, of course. So it's these 1 week decisions. Everyone says start your studs and live with it. I don't like to always play that way. I want to have a little fun. Fantasy football is a mind bender. It's such a mind bender. Dr. Mindbender from G.I. Joe wouldn't be masterful at messing with people's heads if he had access to NFL starting lineups and fantasy lineups. We go crazy about who we start and who we don't, and we still make the wrong choices. Everyone says Breece Hall's a top 3 pick, a top 5 pick, and then he's a bust, and nobody knows for sure. So let's roll the dice and have some fun with it. But in the end, as long as we're winning, that's what matters most. I don't want to get too crazy where I don't start a lot of my best players. I'm not doing that. But there's a couple choices where the matchups speak. They speak to me. Like Pink Floyd. Breathe, breathe in the air. Woo! When's the last time you watched Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon with Wizard of Oz? I did that. 1998, Central Michigan University. Stoned on a Tuesday night in the dorm. Never going to class. I did that shit. It was kind of interesting for a while. Kind of. Any other questions here? Because it's time for me to go. It's 12 o'clock. It's noon. We got inside an hour until kickoff. We can't screw around. Sony McApple says, ignore Addison at number 4. Oh. What does that mean, Sony McApple? Did I miss something? Does that have something to do with the London game? London calling, bing, 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 bong. Looks like Jordan Anderson had 3 catches for 36 yards today in London. You notice I haven't done a really shitty London accent yet. So I did play a British paper. I did Sherlock Holmes sophomore year of high school. I was in Sherlock Holmes, the musical. Well, actually, it wasn't a musical. It was just stage play for drama. And I played a British newspaper boy. And I said, that's where I learned how to say the Thames, the Thames River. For those of you baseball fans, Marcus Thames, Eric Thames. No, it's the Thames. Eric Thames, Marcus Thames. The Thames River. That's right, the Thames. Okay. Oh my God, it's so dumb.
I apologize.
Shut the fuck up!
Yeah, that's everybody to me. Sorry, everybody. All right, well, that's it. We're going to wrap up the show then. No more questions. I wish you guys all the best in week 5. You know, my betting sheet it's comprehensive. It's full of goodness today. I've got all your totals and spread picks. Plus, I've got player prop parlay. Well, not parlays, just player props. Let me tell you something here. Let me get radical for a second. Let me give you a couple freebies off the sheet. I think Julian Hill. Yes, again, this is another bye-week situation. Now, I know the Miami offense is putrid. It's hell on earth, right? But Julian Hill, tight end for the Dolphins, he's had a couple red zone targets this year, and Tyler Huntley should play a little bit better for Miami today. He should. They need him to. And it'll be another week in the offense. Tyler Huntley has been a backup that I have liked at times in his career, especially because he can run the ball. His rushing floor is great. If you're a desperate super flex player, you probably already know what I'm talking about. You maybe have Huntley in your lineups. But it's not Jonnu Smith. It's Julian Hill, who's getting more targets the last couple of weeks, and he's getting red zone targets and the snaps. Now, he's plus 1,900 score a touchdown today. Julian Hill on DraftKings, plus 1,900 for an anytime touchdown. Plus 1,900. It's worth $5, isn't it? Worth $10? What the hell? He's on the field. It could happen. So it's a total radical call. I don't think I've ever hit a plus 1,900 anytime touchdown before. In fact, I know I haven't. Although I have hit plus 6,000 first touchdown scorers. That's different, right? Because that's where you score the first touchdown in the game. Also, Julian Hill plus 6,000 to score the first touchdown of that game, if there is a touchdown between the Patriots and the Dolphins. Oddly enough, I'm taking the over just because it seems too obvious that it's an under game, right? Dolphins offense is in hell. There's a mutiny brewing in the wide receivers room for New England. They all hate Jacoby Brissett. They want Drake May, but the team knows if you put Drake May behind this shitty offensive line and this offense that it could be bad for his development. I mean, what a mess, right? A real mess. Total mess. Chad says, OBJ anytime touchdown. Lock it in. I'm on fire, and I don't plan to stop now. So OBJ's back? Yeah? Okay. I would like to see that happen. I'll be rooting for you, Chad. I will, but I'm not going to go there right away. Brian, what's up? Big B, double B in his house. My main man. What's up, Brian? Brother, how you been? How you doing? I'm going to wager my kid's inheritance today. What's your best bet, Gove? Ooh, my best bet? Do you want a player prop or? Look, I really think that Cole Kmet anytime touchdown today is a great play. You get a nice number on it, and the Panthers are awful against tight ends. So I'm really digging the Cole Kmet anytime touchdown. I also really like Cleveland to, take the 3 points. Cleveland at Washington today, if you're looking for that. I love Jacksonville money line. Jacksonville, that's the number one bet for sure. Jacksonville should absolutely win today. I don't know if they'll cover the 3. It's gotten up to 3.5 now for Jacksonville against the Colts. But give me the money line at minimum for Jacksonville. That should be a safe winner today. It really should. And I like Cleveland. I also like Cincinnati a lot. At home against Baltimore. But anytime touchdown for Cole Kmet. Also, if you're looking in the afternoon slate, both Colby Parkinson, who's a tight end for the Rams, and Tucker Kraft, the tight end for the Packers, they're both playing each other. And both the Rams and the Packers are not good against tight ends. They're just not. So I don't know which one it'll be, but I'm telling you now, one of these guys for sure will score a touchdown. It'll be Colby Parkinson or Tucker Kraft today. I'm locking it in, and I feel good about that as well. So that's where my mind is at today, my good man. Preston, what's up, man? Welcome in. Make sure you subscribe. Like the video while we're here. We love having you guys. We do this every Sunday morning. Usually Mike Virginia's with me, but he's out of town taking care of family business, so he'll be back soon. And, of course, we'll be back Tuesday night doing our waiver wire thing for Week 6, talking about who sucked, who's the guy now that we got to pick up, who got hurt, who's the replacement, who's the bye-week replacement for Week 6. That's what we'll do. Tuesday nights, Pallazzo Podcast.
Utah.
2 L's, 2 Z's.
Give me 2.
1 flex. Full PPR. JSN, Amari Cooper, Wandale. Ooh. Now, Wandale and JSN are going head-to-head in the Pacific Northwest today, so that's fun. Amari Cooper, this is a guy who's targeted a lot by Watson, and now with David Njoku back on the field today, that's probably good news for Cooper. Full PPR. I think now, you got no Malik Neighbors for the Giants, so Wandale and Slayton come key targets for Mr. Jones. Mr. Danny Dimes sucks. But how many times will Danny Dimes dink and dunk to Wandale Robinson today? Maybe being all he's got. For full PPR, that is promising because they'll probably get behind against Seattle too here. Even though I kind of like the Giants in the +7, only because they've got a lot more rest and Seattle's coming off the short week, the loss to Detroit. I think that will have a little bit to do with the matchup. But this is tough. I like JSN today a lot. In fact, I think on today's Patreon betting sheet for NFL Week 5, I had JSN down for an anytime touchdown today. So I like Cooper. I like JSN. I love Wandale. I'm like the Wandale Robinson guy. I drafted him on almost every team I had. I've said this like 10,000 times and then some. But today, I'll probably go Cooper, JSN, Wandale. Okay? There you go. That's how I'm locking that in. Fantasy Sports here. What's up, my man? Which two players should I start? Wicks, Sermon, or JSN? PPR. Well, to me here, this is a no-brainer to me. You start Wicks and JSN, and Sermon's third. Because if you missed the show when I started earlier today, Fantasy Sports, I said I really like Tyler Goodson a lot, who's the other back in the Colts backfield. And he had some trust last year from head coach Shane Steichen and company in Indianapolis. And with Joe Flacco being there to dump to Tyler Goodson, that's promising. And that's bad news for Sermon, in my opinion. I'm going to stick with that. So regardless of that, though, it's Wicks and JSN, and I'm locking that in as well. Brian says, love it. I'm all in on Cole. Thanks, brother. If it doesn't work out, though, what if it doesn't work out, Brian? What if it doesn't work out? What if I'm wrong? Who doesn't like taking a chance on a tight end? I've taken a lot of chances in my life on tight ends, and I've rarely regretted it. Zing! Thank you very much. I'll be here for another couple minutes. I was in on Kraft, but rumors that Musgrave might be active. That's fine. I think it doesn't matter. Even when Musgrave's been active, Kraft's been getting more snaps, so it doesn't threaten me right now. Sean Thomas in his house. Yeah. Oh, wait. Preston says, yep, I'm starting Amari Cooper. I have a good feeling, but I have a gut feeling. Oh, like Roto gut, like my man Vlad, right? Woo! He's got a gut feeling. Yes, I'm going to lock you in, dude. Wow, dude. All right, so Sean here. Half-point PPR. Got all these guys. Let me get through this. Sean, I'm here to serve you. Thanks for being here. Please subscribe, like the video, come back Tuesdays, be here Sundays. We got the Discord. It's free 24/7. Patreon starts at just $3. All right, half-point PPR. We got Stevenson, Worthy, Achane, Waddle. Pick 2. So Stevenson, Worthy, Achane, Waddle. Pick 2. I'm going to go Achane and Worthy. Achane and Worthy. Although I kind of want to pick Ramondre. I think that there's a kind of a curveball being thrown here where people are like, oh, he's going to be benched or he's demoted. But it's not over for Ramondre. It's not. Okay? And then he says ETN, Achane, Hunt, Worthy, Higgins. Pick 2. Achane, Hunt, Worthy, Higgins. I'm definitely going Higgins. Remember, this is half-point PPR. I'm going Higgins and I'm going Achane. Yeah. Higgins and Achane in that one. And then we've got Kyler, Burrow, pick 1. Kyler, Burrow, I'm trying to read this last part. Oh, the show's slowing down. Pick 1. And then it says BTJ, Tyreek, MHJ, Worthy, pick 2. I love how you put a lot in here, Sean. This is very impressive. I could do this question for like a half hour. I could study it and really learn about myself and football. But between Kyler and Burrow, I'm going Kyler. Although I really like Burrow today against that Baltimore defense. I'm not afraid. I think the Bengals can win the game outright today. But I also like Arizona against San Francisco and Kyler to have a better game. But the Arizona offense might be best served by running the ball. So it could be a big Connor day over Kyler. Oh, it's real close. Kyler Burrow. I flip a coin there because that's tight to me. It's really tight. Yeah. And then it's TJ, Tyreek, or BTJ. Who's BTJ? Am I an idiot? Tyreek, Mr. Harrison Jr., and Worthy. You got a lot of Worthy, huh? I think Tyreek, I'm benching Tyreek until I see that someone can get him the ball. And I know it sounds crazy. It does. It does sound crazy, right? But I think that's what I'd be doing. That's what I'd be doing right now with Tyreek. I'm benching him until someone shows that they can throw a juicy, tasty bomb, drop a dime to him. Can Huntley do that? Will Skylar Thompson come in and do that for Tyreek today? I gotta see it. I gotta see it. So I'm gonna go Marvin Harrison Jr. for sure. And I guess Worthy, because I'm not understanding who BTJ is. Am I an idiot? Anybody know who BTJ is? Oh, Brian Thomas Jr. Oh, of course. See, look, I hadn't got down with the lingo yet. I love Brian Thomas Jr. Okay, now I know. Now let me clarify. Brian Thomas Jr. for sure. That's a no-brainer. And I'm going Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm going both those guys right there. Worthy, I picked in the other lineup, but I still am a little suspect that he gets in the mix and gets off against this Saints defense. I like the Saints D. I'm expecting the under on Monday night. Kansas City, New Orleans, under. It's going to be a slog. Kansas City's offense is losing too many good offensive players. It's got to take a toll eventually. They can't win every game either. Worthy had a good week one. We haven't seen much since from Worthy. I'm going to go with Brian Thomas Jr. as my number one, and then MHJ is 2 with Tyreek needing to show me something. But you got to... Oh, okay. Sean says, rain, any concern for Brian Thomas? You know, everyone's talking about the rain, and that's fair. I mean, is it like... We're looking at hell rain? Like, is it going to be just a torrential downpour? 100% precipitation. Okay, well, that's not great, Bob. Yeah. 77 degrees, very warm still. Periods of rain, high 77 degrees, winds 5 to 10. So the winds aren't a problem at all, it's just rain. So if the winds were more of a factor, I'd be more paranoid about this, but I'm not going to freak out too much about this weather in Jacksonville other than it just being wet. And that's obviously it's going to be wet most of the game, but it's not going to be very heavy. It looks like it'll just be like a moderate to light rain most of the game. So, and it'll dissipate as the game goes on. So I'm not sweating it. No, I'm not going to sweat it. I am not going to let it get me down. But then again, I could be too stubborn and iron-headed about Brian Thomas Jr. BTJ. Thanks to you, Sean. Appreciate it. Make sure subscribe, like. Thanks for helping me understand. Because I have Brian Thomas Jr. all over the place. I'm a big fan. And I wanted it so badly. I wanted it to take the BTJ anytime touchdown today. But I went a different direction. In that Jacksonville game, I'm taking the Brenton Strange anytime touchdown. That's right. You need a replacement at tight end for some of your bye week tight ends this week. Maybe you got Sam Laporta out. Who do you fill in? How about Brenton Strange of the Jaguars? He's had a couple of red zone targets. Scored a touchdown 2 weeks ago, I believe. So he is in the mix in the red zone for the Jags. And even with the rain, a short touchdown to a tight end, very doable. Very, very doable. So I went him over BTJ. Maybe that says a little bit something about me, but I still think that BTJ can rack up 7+ catches here and have a real nice day. The guy is so damn good. He's so talented, so I don't care about the rain at all. You know, he played down at LSU. I'm going down to Bayou. Not worried about the rain. So there it is. That's how I feel about it. Thank you, Sean. Some great questions to close out the show. I love doing the show. I love having you guys here. Pallazzo Podcast.
Utah.
2 L's.
Give me 2.
2 Z's. Very simple. We'll be back here Tuesday night. We're here Sunday mornings. In the meantime, the Twitter X, follow me at MJ Govier on Twitter X. The Discord is free. I jump in there. The Patreon starts at just $3 all month long. We got college betting, NFL betting, fantasy football. Mwah! Of course, off-season baseball stuff will be brewing too. Dynasty. You love Dynasty? You hardcore into it? Got some good stuff brewing. 2 thumbs up for this show. I love doing the show, and I love everybody in the live chat. Thanks for being here. Chad, Brian, Sean, Preston, all y'all. Joe, Chris, of course. Joe Lowry was here today. That was nice. Thank you so much. Bryce, Uncle Ted popped in, as always. Thank you, Uncle Ted. JP, my Patreon from another mother. Legendary performance. Thanks, Go. Thank you, Brian. And I hope, God, if Cole Kmet doesn't score now, I'm going to feel really shitty about it. Oh! Thanks, brother. Everybody have a good one. I hope you guys win money, whether you're betting, whether it's DFS, whatever it is. Win, win, win. You play to win the games. That's what Herm told us a long time ago.
You play to win the game.
Hucka-chugga football!
Fucking Roethlisberger, the quarterback, was all fucking hug it,